welcome to my first art critic video. Recently, I've started a Patron, and on the Coffee Friend tier, I offer a monthly critic video. I will be making my observations, interpretation, and will be giving suggestions how the art could improve. We would also talk about art theory, color composition, values, and anatomy. I will try to go in depth as much as possible and not just be giving do this and do that and why it would be better. So without further ado, let's start. Here we have 3 arts by Darren. For their first art, we have this character on a natural setting, enjoying his time. I love how you made the effort to also create a background for this art piece. For their second art, we have Zuko from Atla, firebending and in a fighting stance, while their third is the batter with several specters facing the camera, also chilling. A couple of things I noticed on your first art was the perspective. We have the horizon, then the vanishing point over here. Yet something is still missing, and that would probably be the transversal lines. Transversal lines help you maintain a perspective and construct the 3-dimensional scene. A demonstration would be we would move him slightly up here so his feet are placed on the ground. I've also noticed the background lacks some details. For example, these trees could use a little more work. The shape is too perfect and lacks some depth. Real trees are layered with leaves and have an uneven and ragged texture, while their branches stick out in all directions, back, side, and forward. You may want to start with the internal structure of a tree, then do the loose framework of the external structure. The grass could use a little more texture as well. Right now, we only have this here to indicate that the area has grass. And lastly, we have the body proportions. The overall anatomy is promising, but their left arm is slightly longer than their right. Unless the right is slightly bended, you may want to aim for more clarity. Maybe rearranging the placement of the right so that it would be clearer that it's bending. If you find yourself struggling with anatomy, I suggest breaking down the body into simple shapes and adding the details later. For your second art, the anatomy would also need a little more improvement. First, I would want to address the body composition. When posing the characters, remember the balance point. The body is supported by whatever part is touching the ground, so finding the center of gravity would help your character avoid stiff or awkward positions. In this case, it's hard to tell what foot is supporting him. I would recommend making the left foot touch the entire ground entirely. That way, the weight would be distributed properly and make his pose all the more powerful. For your third artwork, composition is nice, but the right shoulder should be a bit more to the side since his entire body is facing the camera. The sternomastoid is the muscle that is prominent on the neck and is located here. So try repositioning the placement of the line to be more over here. I noticed a pattern between these 3 artworks, and that would be the hands. They do seem a bit flat. I suggest taking photos of your hand in all angles and different gestures, then breaking down the parts into simple shapes so you can better understand the hand anatomy and to apply it to your next artwork. It's okay, hands are very difficult to draw at first, but practicing them each day would really help you out. Next, we have the art of Quill Incorporated, or Quill, but I think it's Kill. This is their character Oliver, sitting down and knitting. The overall mood of the art looks good. I love how he did his facial expression. A few things I've noticed was the lines. Now this may still be a work in progress, but I do suggest cleaning up the lines for clarity. It's kind of hard to appreciate the art with the loose lines going around. You may also want to improve the shadows. I could see that the source of light is coming from the upper left, but some shadows are missing from this side. The highlights could also be spread more from the left to give more depth to the character. The arm over here could also be improved by adding more clarity with his arm to show that it's bent, and the proportions for his thighs could be shortened slightly as they are a bit too long compared to his bottom leg. His hands are also in a slight awkward position as the ring finger cannot stick out without the little finger, so that could also be worked on. And that's it! A very big thank you to my Patreons Darren and Kiel for their artworks. They are very wonderful and promising. I hope you found this helpful and learned something today. And I also hope that you would be able to use the feedback to other artworks. And if this goes well, maybe I could make more of this in the future. So thank you so much for watching. Keep safe and bye-bye.